We are descending from the rafters of the stadium.
Yes.
As the first podcast performers at a halftime show in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The year is 2027.
It's beautiful. No backing. There's no sound in the stadium whatsoever except for our voices.
It's as mellow as fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Our outfits are amazing.
Yeah. Gowns.
We have backup dancers, but they're just standing.
Exactly.
Listening.
Attentively. Yeah.
I'm excited for our future. I could see it in my mind's eye.
Me too. I see it so clearly.
Welcome to Is This Normal, the podcast where we take your anonymous confessions and questions, your quirks, your queries, and we debate whether those things are normal or special or something else altogether. I'm Erin Ingle.
And I'm Alyssa Yeoman.
That's my friend Alyssa.
There's my friend Erin over there.
Here we are, upstairs. In the pod lounge.
In the pod lounge. Where all the magic happens.
I should have drank like enough water to not be thirsty right away, but I didn't.
No. Yeah.
It's not something I can predict.
Yeah, absolutely not. And plus this is just get you thirsty.
Yeah.
What can you say?
You start spitting out that intro.
Yeah.
Start dreaming, you know?
We're going to the Super Bowl. We're
It takes it out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
We should have some Gatorade in here.
Absolutely. If we really wanted to power up.
Yeah, be an athlete about it. Treat every day like practice.
Exactly. 2 a days podcast.
Got to take an ice bath after.
Right.
Well, I wanted to, I had something that was like just burning in my mind, and I was wondering if we could start with an Is This Normal from my personal world.
Yeah, let's do it.
Taking the anonymity out of it, but maybe that'll help other people feel like they can be vulnerable.
They can be confident. We have many people who confess after.
That's the joy is when we learn, that we've answered someone's question either to their satisfaction or chagrin.
Exactly. Exactly.
But this is something I was laying in bed thinking about as I was staring at a particular decorative object in my room, which is a beautiful beeswax candle in the shape of a fat lady.
Ooh.
And I have had this candle for several years, and I cannot burn it because it's shaped like a person.
Okay.
So I have this is it normal that that my decorative candles collect dust and don't get burned? I have a weird feeling about it.
I think that's totally normal. I think a lot of people keep candles just for the look. And a candle like that, I see why you can't burn it. I get both because it is a person's body. That would be kind of horrific to watch melt.
From the head down, too.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, ooh. I don't know. As the candle burns, something weird happens to you. Sounds like a scary movie or something like that. And also, if it's just too pretty, why burn it?
Yeah, it's too fine as a little sculpture, a soft little sculpture.
I do think it's different if you have candles in cans and you're just letting them, or in the glass.
Like just a normal vessel.
Right, a normal vessel, and you're letting it collect dust on top. I don't understand why you really wouldn't burn the candle at that point.
I guess that we're seeing the vessel as the decorative container there, but then you could still burn the candle, it wouldn't change.
Exactly, and you could use that for other things.
I had this feeling we'd talk about, because I love a scented candle.
I love candles.
I love candles. I enjoyed going through the candle aisle of Home Goods with you and sniffing.
Yes. I love it.
Hard to convey via audio medium, but sniffing candles is a great pastime.
It feels good. Yeah.
If you haven't done it, get out to a Target or a TJ Maxx or wherever you can be floor to ceiling smells.
Yeah, exactly.
And just
make sure to smell your hand in between so you can kind of clear your palate.
Is that your cleanser?
That's what I've heard works. I've heard that. I've heard coffee beans, but I'm not the point where I'm doing it for sport, showing up with coffee beans to the TJ Maxx aisle.
Shake.
Exactly.
My mom, I believe, brought me with her to a Yankee candle party, a Tupperware party of Yankee candles at one point, and there was definitely a coffee jar to sniff.
Oh. On the East Coast, I heard there's less a Yankee candle museum, and you can go in and make your own Yankee candle.
I'm sorry, make it yourself.
You can make it yourself. Yes.
This man.
Road trip.
The great Northeast, baby.
I know. I'm like, what goes on over there? magical.
Making your own scents.
Right?
That's a science that I would love to explore. But
I didn't realize, I did know I liked candles, but then I got a ridiculous amount of candles for my birthday this year.
Was there an onslaught?
There was at least, I want to say I had upwards of 3 to 4 candles. Something like that.
Dang.
Which I felt like was a lot. And then I was like, okay, candles are good gifts if you're not sure what to get people. But then I was like, maybe I'm a candle person, and that's the energy I'm giving out to the world. It's just like, get me some candles.
Did you get any shapes?
No shape. Okay. Oh, wait. I got one pumpkin shaped.
A pumpkin shape.
Yeah, which I haven't burned. Yeah. Because it's a perfect pumpkin.
Well, you're gonna have to keep that at least till fall.
Exactly.
And then you can like have it in some sort of setup, like a little.
Right. And I have to start burning it in October, and by October it's got to be gone.
Ooh, good mission.
I can't see the pumpkin.
Okay, listeners, clock that in your memory and roll it back so we can remind Alyssa come October whether the pumpkin candle is burning.
Yeah. Have you lit the pumpkin candle?
Have you recited the incantations?
Yes. It's the way we start our October.
Absolutely. It's a great system. You gotta, man, I had these candles. I think I might have moved to multiple locations. Well, I've definitely moved with this beautiful candle.
Right.
She was up at my old apartment, and I had these candles. I have a strong memory of having these candles that like maybe like a friend brought me from like Hawaii.
Okay.
And they were so beautiful, and they had like different, like it was like different colors and like spiraling loops. Like they were like somehow like twisted, like, which blew my mind that they could exist even.
Right.
And I never burned them. And then one time one of them broke and I did not know what to do. It's like, because if I patch this thing, it's going to be scarred. I don't know whatever happened to those, but I probably never burned them.
Probably just threw them away. You're like, I can't even look at this anymore, that it's broken.
One and done. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Instead of watching it, like enjoying it after all those years, I probably did just toss them in the garbage.
It happens. That's what it's like when you move. That's totally normal. We could have a whole what's normal for moving episode.
Ooh, that's a good special.
Yeah.
We'll roll that out someday too. So that's mine. So you'd say so to not burn your decorative candles, you say normal.
Totally normal.
I appreciate that approval. Thank you.
But if you're not burning your candles in holders or in the vase, then I would say nothing's abnormal. I would just say questionable.
Yeah, just like maybe think like, what am I doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I struggle with what to do with the vessel with the candle like burned down to the bottom. I'm like, yeah, am I the kind of person that like keeps this vessel, like somehow cleans it out and keeps it
and recycles it, but then you're like have a shit ton of them. It's like in the Tupperware containers from takeout. How many more of those do I need?
Yeah, how many pho shaped dinners am I gonna have?
You'll fuck around and find out. I've seen the things I fit in those containers afterwards. Now I'm like just piles of macaroni smashed in there, just in that nice cylinder shape. Your
Rubbermaids and your Pyrexes want you to think that your leftovers need to be horizontally sprayed, and I think that all of us that are living at least in the PNW and getting enough soup takeout know that you can stack it.
You can stack it. Okay.
I appreciate the approval. Thank you for letting me feel comfortable with my decorative candles.
This is first and foremost a safe space. Let's never forget.
It is.
Never forget. Okay, let's hop into some submissions that we have today.
Love it.
Excited to bring this one up. So, is it normal to be obsessed with redheads? Thanks, The Little Mermaid.
Wow.
So they even gave us an origin.
Yeah, that's their origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that it's like quite normal. I think people are generally treat redheads like they are elves or spirits or in some way.
Oh yeah, I used to have a joke about redheads being the POCs of white people.
I love that joke of yours.
I haven't done it in so long, but I personally love a redhead. I used to be obsessed with Shaun White.
Ooh.
Now he's problematic though. Another one bit the dust. We won't go into that on that pod, but it wasn't normal things he was doing. So, and then who else did I love? I mean, Prince Harry.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Cutie.
Or just Harry now that he's American.
Oh yeah. American Harry.
American Harry. Hair Bear.
Hair Bear the Spare Bear.
The Hair Bear the Spare Bear. Use our code Is This Normal 10% off for your copy of Spare.
Is it an Oprah's book club choice too?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm sure it is.
Oh,
I heard that book was essentially like TMI. We'll have to. That's a whole other episode. That's so funny.
Oh man. Okay. So redheads, yeah, they've got that draw. You know,
They have a draw,
and then also because people on the internet, like makeup people on the internet, as you know, I'm saying like doing makeup tutorial people, seem to be obsessed with freckles too, like DIY freckles, and a lot of times you're gonna get a freckled redhead.
Yeah,
it's like double.
You get a little bit of both.
Is it a recessive gene or something? Is it that like?
Yeah, I think so. One of those situations
where you're like, wow, that was working for you.
Right.
A little rare. You're a rare,
yes.
rare bird.
I've been loving seeing, now that America's progressed so much, we're seeing more, well, there were probably already black people who were redheaded, but I've been seeing more like mixed people, like half black, half white, who end up with the redhead gene, which also is like striking.
Good luck out there, kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very much you will be popular.
Exactly. You got the look. You got the look.
With like a good textured red hair too.
Right.
Get out of here.
But
I mean, Little Mermaid, she just had that like a thick,
flowing,
thick red pelt.
Exactly.
But you get a little volume to that thing too.
But let's have an honest conversation here for a second. Okay. The disparity between an uggo redhead and a hot redhead. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to give any examples.
Yeah, you use your own brain, listener.
Use your own brain. The redhead that you're like, oh, not an attractive redhead. The disparity between the two, I feel like, is really great.
You really
when it comes to redheads.
You ripped it open with that.
Yeah.
That is like the higher. What is it like the higher they climb, the farther they fall.
Exactly.
That's an unfortunate swap when you end up an uggo redhead.
Yeah.
Oof, very good point.
So is it normal? I mean, are you obsessed? Are you making sure the uggo redheads out there too are getting your love?
Yeah, take care of the less like maybe you're like, if you're an obsessed with redheads person, like you should go give some love to a unconventional looking redhead.
Exactly. Love an unconventional look. Exactly.
There's like, I wonder, have you ever dyed red or had red braids?
I have had red hair. I have dyed red. I love the look of red on me.
Oh yeah. Was it like more of an auburn, more of a fire engine?
So I've had more of like I think it's more not auburn, but I've had like almost an orangish red that was like really light, almost a copper. I had a copper,
good copper color.
That I really love. That was an interesting phase of my life. It was it was a wild phase of my life. And then I've had a deeper red than that I would say fall, not quite auburn, but still a more reddish undertone than
more like maroony, maybe.
Yeah, maybe more maroony. Yeah,
I love or burgundy.
Look. Yeah,
all great choices.
Yeah. Did you go through a red phase?
I never had gone red. No, I haven't dyed my hair in I haven't dyed my hair in probably like 15 years. And the one time that I was really thinking about it, I was like, maybe I could just like try to be like an auburny redhead for a while.
I think that would look great. It would look great on your curls too.
I mean, that would be fun to try. But what if it ruined my curls?
Right.
So
it's risky.
Who knows? But maybe someday, maybe next time I'm just feeling like wild. That'll be the thing to do.
And it's a good color that doesn't require you to like bleach.
It doesn't?
No.
Okay.
Red doesn't require you to bleach. So that's why I've done red before, because the bleach process, that's
days of work. Well, obsessed with redheads, file under normal.
Totally normal.
Redheads of the world listeners, let us know how that makes you feel.
Right.
We would love to learn.
Tell us.
We'd love to learn.
No, I'm kidding.
True, I lived it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an ugly redhead.
That was your story.
Yeah, maybe you're like can't go out in the world without being like fetishized. I don't know what that's. Maybe that's a whole different thing. Set us right if we're in the wrong here, but we're obsessed with you.
Exactly.
Okay, let's see. Another submission that I love here. Is it normal that my handwriting gets worse by the year?
Ooh.
I mean,
you're not using it as much as you used to.
That's true. You don't get the practice if you're on computers and
you're typing all the time.
I'm trying to think if mine has gotten worse or not. Like, I bet that my like 14, 13-year-old self who was insistent on like very circular, bubbly letters with like hearts and flowers everywhere would probably look at my current handwriting and think it was busted. But
okay.
I'm okay with it. I feel like it's legible, but it has morphed. Like I do a very bizarre like hybrid with like there's like 2 or 3 letters that I do kind of cursive-y, just like for us fast writing.
Okay.
And I do like some random capitals sometimes too. It's I wonder if it's kind of serial killerish. I don't know.
Ransom note. Looks like they're all cut from a different magazine. So this is where I'm abnormal, I think, or maybe special, because nothing's abnormal on this show. But I like obsess about my handwriting still.
I can see that.
I still really like having good handwriting. So I do like weekly try to make sure I write at least like once a week.
Well, you're you've been a bullet journaler in the past, am I correct?
I had a bullet journal a month or two.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't keep up.
No, it's too high of an expectation to set for yourself.
It's a lot. But I did get into that. But I can get into things like that.
And that's all physical writing like that,
exactly.
right?
And I love it all caps. I'm an all caps writer.
I love
it's
all
just
caps
so
too.
legible. And
I just pulled out from my little pile of our like is this normal documents a set list like from one of our live shows that you had written. I was like, God, that looks good.
Oh,
it looks real good. It's all caps.
Yeah. When people tell me they like my hand, I was even at the wedding show. I wrote someone was like, wow, great handwriting, and I was like,
this whole thing.
Know. Thank you.
Yeah, you're no false humility. You
exactly.
work for it.
I love it, but I think it's normal because you're not using it as much. There are some days where I go to write and I'm like, is my hand weak? It's just like it's it just doesn't look the same. It's sloppy. So
you got it. Like, you haven't done your ergonomic like flexing and all this.
You're trying to write fast.
Maybe
yeah.
Just like life's not short, and people are gonna look at this as evidence someday.
Yeah, exactly.
I like handwritten things though. I know. Like I was just talking to my brother-in-law who's going back to school right now about taking notes to remember things.
Right.
And I think some people, myself included, would believe that like taking notes by typing goes nowhere and like you have to write it down if you want to remember it. That's like with a pen. But I don't know. Did you ever have that experience?
I used to think that, but I think I've since trained my brain because I use the Notes app so much on my phone to start memorizing things from writing it in specific places on my phone. Like Notes app or something like that. I'll remember to go back to it. I'll remember I wrote it down because I'm on it so much. So I'm like revisiting it. But yeah, I think it took me a little while to train like that because when I first started doing comedy, I was paper only, and I've since moved to the phone. You
broke me into an online calendar.
Yes.
All credit due to Alyssa Yeoman because I had a paper calendar that was like back pocket size.
What are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah. I think you're like, get your life together, put it in your phone. Because I like didn't have my calendar with me one time when somebody was asking me like if I was available for some date and you were with me and I was like, oh, can I get back to you when I get back to my calendar? You're like, come on, get a hold of yourself. When you never leave your calendar is when it's in your phone.
Yeah, because it will always be with you. That's funny. Well, I'm glad that I brought you to the light.
You did, yeah. I'm a devout digital calendar now.
Oh, live and die by the calendar. Okay. But I think totally normal for handwriting to get worse.
Degrading over time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're like a doctor, I guess.
Yeah.
Write that script.
All right, our final one. This one is a long boy, but we had to do this one because this one, I think people will have a lot to say about this, but here we go. Is it normal to hang out in your car for 30 minutes after you get home before you walk in to listen to music, check the gram, eat snacks you bought yourself to eat at the grocery store, and generally avoid walking and end up being late to things because you just generally are too lazy to leave your car?
That's good. Painted a picture.
Yeah. So I got a couple things from this. I feel like there's two things happening. There's the hang in your car moment, and then before you get home, and then there's also they're hanging in their car before they show up places.
They're making themselves late.
Yeah, exactly. So they're also hanging in their car. before they go into a party or something, maybe.
So they've asked us, if we're going to incorporate both of those into one, it's a very specific question, but we could break it down.
Okay.
Because until we started being late for stuff, I was like, this resonates.
Right. I was feeling it. I was like, yes, I'll dig into the snacks for a second. Or like, you just want to finish a couple songs and just take a moment of silence in your car. You know what I mean?
Gather your things. Your thoughts.
Right.
Your day is moving to a new phase, maybe like if you're coming home from work or school or what have you, and you just need to like put a pin in that phase.
Right.
You've got yourself home.
Transition out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if you're listening to an album or some songs you like, or finishing a pot. I've walked into the house, like unplugged I have a plug. Don't have Bluetooth. No, don't judge. But unplugged the phone so I could like carry the podcast in with me and just on speaker or whatever. And it's, I walk into the door and then have to like see if anybody else is in the kitchen so I can set it down and keep listening to it. But if I had just stayed in the car,
you'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, finish it up. It's like when songs used to come on the radio when that was a thing. And I would just like, I never listen to the radio.
You never listen to the radio?
But I would be like, if a song came on that I liked, it's like, oh, I'm not getting out until this song is over.
Who knows when I can get this song back?
Exactly.
It's 1999. I don't have the CD.
Exactly. I'm not buying my boombox ready to hit record on this. Keep it on a mixtape. So, yeah, I think that part is normal, the hang out in the car. And then we have the next part, though. The generally avoid walking and end up being late to things because you're just generally too lazy to leave your car.
That's like, now this is a more specific vision of the writer.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm sure it sounds pretty normal to me. I'm betting there's probably I bet there's a lot of people that are like, ugh, getting up again.
I can't possibly walk from my car, especially when it's cold out. We get some really frigid days where I'm like, am I ready to be hit in the face with this cold weather again?
Tell me something. You got a heated seat?
I got a heated seat.
Why do you ever leave that car?
Oh, it's hard. Sometimes it's like, I know I'm about to get out of my like sauna bubble and just get hit with the cold. The heated seat, that was a nice little upgrade.
Everything that you had going for you in the car. Like, yeah.
Perfect temp.
Just to be jarred back into the cold, brutal reality of this world outside.
Exactly. Just picture like stumbling out into the street and like cars blazing by and horns going. Yeah.
It's 28 days later.
The zombies have come. But I think, maybe that you're right. I think now that I think about the fact that sometimes it's just like, fuck walking.
Yeah.
This does feel more normal than I initially wanted to break it down because I thought maybe this part is special, but now that I'm thinking about
it's very normal. Well, I'm also picturing like, my future as a parent and thinking like maybe there'll be days when I go out without the child and I've returned to the house and I'm like going back into parent mode.
Right.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of people that are like just a few more minutes.
Yes, I hear that about that, and probably the bathroom time.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Like this is my special time. Leave me alone.
Exactly. There's a door closed. Yeah,
I know. I think I agree, and I'm thinking of my brother right now, and you haven't been to his place, but someday you'll see. What he deals with when he gets out of his car to arrive at his home,
right?
Which is like 100 steps up from the street.
I've seen a picture.
And so I'll shout out to you, Sam.
Yeah.
It must be a big moment to gather yourself to get out of that car and into your house.
With groceries too?
Oh no.
What are you making too? I'm a one trip.
Always. But as much as possible. I thankfully, with my cohabitants in this household, I can send them out for second loads. But,
right.
But yeah, but thinking about like having like multiple, like the bag is like cutting the circulation off in your arm and you're walking up all those steps.
Yeah, I would be in the car for about 30 to 45.
Just thinking about
hyping. It. Yeah, yep. Getting ready for that.
Maybe eating some of those snacks that you got at the grocery store to rally yourself.
Absolutely.
Well, shoot.
Wow, I think this is But both of those are totally normal. What a normal,
relatable episode.
Everybody's, yeah.
And I mean, that's assuming that people will feel the same way about candles and redheads.
Yeah, if you don't, please write us, which leads us to our next point. If you want to contact us, submit your Is This Normals. You can do that to our email address, which is isthisnormalcomedy@gmail.com. That link is in the show notes. But if you're more of a audio person, now you have it in your head.
Yeah, it's in there. Maybe you'll write it down on your paper calendar when you get home.
Exactly.
In your weird handwriting.
Exactly.
Or you'll be like, Siri, take this down.
Siri, grab a pen.
Yeah, you can email us. Even, I know your profile is going to be attached to that email, but we won't out you. This is full anonymity on our show. So if your face is attached to that email, don't worry, we won't call you out.
Right. And you can also use the Google form at the bottom. Let's just say there's a Google form. We should make a Google form for people to submit. Use the Google form link also in the show notes if emailing is not your thing. If that's here, we might edit this out if I don't want to make it. But yes, like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends and family, anyone in your life. This has been Is This Normal?
It's great talking to y'all.
Bye-bye.